Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Astro A10 Gen 2. Now, when I was asked to review this headset, I wasn't really looking forward to it, I'll be honest, because I remember reviewing the Astro A20 a while ago, a few years back now, and really being underwhelmed by that headset. I thought it was cheap, not that great sounding, and didn't have much to offer. The Astro A10 Gen 2, as you can see, is a nice looking headset though. It comes in a number of different colours, and it's also really affordable, about $59 and about the same in pounds sterling. So that's reasonably priced for this headset. And in this video, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing it and talking to you about the highlights of it. I'm also using the microphone right now for the voiceover, so you can get an idea of what that's like. And I'll talk a bit more about that later on. Now, this is a 3.5mm headset, so it uses 3.5mm connection, which means it will work with a number of different devices. And I have been testing it out on PC, with a little bit of testing also happening on my Valve Steam Deck, but mostly I'm sticking to PC for this, and I've been plugging it directly into the PC and also into my Go XLR Mini for testing purposes, because I just wanted to use it. Now, the advantage of 3.5mm obviously is it will work with a multitude of devices, and it also is quite flexible because of it, and you can use it for mic monitoring, so you can plug it into an external microphone, although as you'll see it has a flip to mute microphone on the side and an interesting setup there. Now, this headset is available in a variety of colours, and you can see it in this quite striking green accent here. I thought it was quite a funky colour, and there are a number of different options. Included in the box, you get a long single 3.5mm cable and then a splitter cable that you can use on PC, and that enables you to easily connect up to whatever you need to connect it to with relative ease. One of the things that I like as well is that it's detachable from the headset. Now, one of the things you'll see immediately is not only the colour but also the design of both the headband and the ear cups and the overall sort of shape of it. And as you saw from those beginning shots, it's sort of small. It's on the smaller side in terms of the overall sort of shape and size of the headband itself. So I think if you have a smaller head, you'll probably find that it's more comfortable for you than those with larger noggins. Also, those ear cups I found are maybe a little bit shallow, but I'll talk a bit more about that as we go through. However, I can report that I am, for the most part, actually impressed by this. For the amount of money that it costs, is actually a good headset, nice and flexible and bendable, as you can see. It's extendable too, and the ear cups are actually quite comfortable. They're nowhere near as comfortable as those on the Astro A50, the top end of Astro's lineup. They are not that sort of soft velour material that you got on there, but instead more of a material finish and not as nice. What I have found is actually they sound a little bit like cotton wool when you move your ears around, but the padding is pretty decent, as is the padding on top of the headband. It's also quite lightweight, and so there's very little pressure on top of the head. The clamping force is more on the light side than the tight side, so it's not overly tight. Flip to mute microphone with no side tone as standard, so you can't hear yourself, but what you'll see is you can easily adjust the position of the mic. It's also not terrible, as you can hear from this voiceover. It's not too bad. What I have found though is that it does pick up a bit of background noise, and it's fairly quiet as standard, so I had to boost it in Windows in order to make it sound a little bit better, and then that obviously worsens the background noise, so it does pick up a little bit of hiss if you happen to have that in your environment. You'll see the ear cups are removable, and there's just a lip round the side there, and then you can obviously get a look at them properly, and you'll notice there's foam on the inside. Now, quick note is that the headset uses quite small drivers. I was quite surprised by just the size of the drivers on this. Only 32mm. 32mm drivers. That's pretty small. In fact, I think it might be the smallest I've ever seen. Usually you get 40 or 50mm drivers on most gaming headsets. However, I haven't found that's a negative thing, because actually the headset's able to drive some pretty loud sound. Astro claims this has a closed back design. However, with these material ear cushions, you're certainly not blocking out loads of external noise with them. You can still hear yourself when you're talking, and you can hear some of the surrounding environment, which is something you don't normally experience with closed back. Normally they blocks out a lot of external noise. These don't do that, so if you're expecting that, I wouldn't expect too much of that. However, what I have found is, despite the small driver size and despite the ear cushions not being faux leather or leather, they still sound great, and they go really loud. They're actually surprisingly loud for the driver size and actually deliver a pretty decent sound. Get some good audio out of them for music listening, and for gameplay I found the positional audio is pretty decent too. If you've got a well mastered game, it sounds pretty nice. The overall experience has actually been quite impressive. I've been struck by a number of things with it. I really wasn't expecting much from these. I thought they would be mediocre at best, but I've actually been reasonably impressed. Obviously I've seen a lot of expensive headsets over the last couple of years, so affordable ones are often difficult to be objective about, and my experience with them has been hit and miss, but these are actually really nice. They're striking in their colour design, they're also really lightweight, they fit really well, and they overall are impressive for the money. Now, my complaint is that the ear cups are a little bit small, both on the size up and down, so top to bottom of the ear cup, and also the depth. They're just a little bit too small, and I think because my head is possibly a bit larger, with the headband extended to the full length, I've found that I just get a little bit of pressure on the top and bottom of my ears, and I can't quite get it into a good position. One of the things that I do like though is that 3.5mm connection, which is removable, so you can take that out. And I'll show you why I like that later on, but it's nice to obviously have that flexibility to remove that when you want to. Also, because it's not a braided cable, it's a nice rubber cable, it basically doesn't cause any sort of feedback when it rubs against your clothing, which is something I've seen with more expensive, fancier cables. On the cable itself you'll also find an easy to use volume wheel. There's no mic mute or anything else fancy there, but it's within reach, a short distance from the headset itself you have volume control. And once again, it is surprisingly loud for such a small headset. So on PC has been pretty pleasant for gaming. I've been using it for quite a bit, both playing games and video editing and listening to music and doing all sorts of other things, and I found the experience to be pretty decent for the money. You have that small splitter cable if you need to plug in the mic and headset separately, or you can obviously use the full cable for console use or whatever else. One thing that console gamers might find is the cable is actually a bit too long. If you're just plugging it into a controller on your lap or within short distance from you, you probably find there's quite an excess of cable. There's no short cable included in the box, which seems like an oversight. A lot of other headsets that I've seen that are designed for both console and PC use often have a short cable for console and then a long one for PC. This doesn't have that, so just bear that in mind. You might have a bit too much cable going on. Well, you can see from some close-up looks at the headset that it's really striking. Now, this is the mint version. You can also get it in lilac, white, and a sort of grey one, and then the black. The black is actually black and grey, and it's one of the most boring colours out of the lot. The other colours are kind of striking, and this sort of goes along with Logitech's design of headsets. So Astro's headset here with the A10 Gen 2 is kind of similar to Logitech's colourful headset lineup. It is very much an Astro headset though, as you can see from the Astro logos, and just the sort of feel and vibe of the whole thing, it very much looks like an Astro headset, and that's no bad thing. But again, a little bit on the small side, and I'm basically demonstrating that with my tiny little skulls, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like on my head. As I said, I feel like my head verges on being a little bit large, so sometimes I struggle with these smaller headsets. You can see it does fit, but it's full extension, and there's just a little bit of pressure on my ears. But I do really appreciate being able to take that cable out. So I've been using it for mic monitoring, and I'm quite used to wearing a wireless headset, so going wired is a bit of a pain sometimes. But the good thing is, if you want to get up, keep the headset on, but just detach your cable, you can easily just pull it out of the bottom and then plug it back in when you need to. Also, the style's pretty nice. I'm not sure this green suits me, but I like the look and feel of it and the way it sits. And obviously you can flip that mic up and you don't need it. You'll also will have noticed that it's possible to bend it in and out with relative ease as well, so you can position it nicely so that you can be heard, or move it out of the way if you need to eat, or if you just want to move it out of the way so it's muted and you can talk to someone else or do something else. So it's really beneficial. Good setup, really impressed with it overall. Affordable, enjoyable, decent looking, and really reasonable for the money. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Enjoy now as you see a brief session from Ready or Not. Check out my gameplay channel to see us gaming at the weekend. Thanks for watching.
down. Civilian down. Looks like they won't make it.
Talk to entry team.
Oh, it's still alive. Keep going.
See those hands.
Continue with your mission.
Barely.
It's like real life.
Failed your objective.
This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.